probably she says information about the individual liberty and justice for all.
Introduction of board. Marjan is on Zoom this evening.
Colin Simmerly.
Jeff Grandy, Jeff Michael, Robert Lee.
Randy Carmody.
Appreciate your read.
No agenda revisions. Approval of the board meeting minutes from October 14th. So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No superintendent's report this evening because Aaron's not here. Citizens agenda. I'd like to remind the citizens that we don't speak about students by name or employees by name.
Recording in progress.
Get up and
Sorry.
Jeremy blank. Anyway, get up and tell us what you have concerns about. So I'll start with Jeremy. Up here, plug it down.
And then I'll put the timer.
So. Jeremy Cappers. The student absence and excuse policy, does not follow the ORS. ORS 339.065. It's missing the section B where it says may excuse absences for other reasons. Satisfactory arrangements are made in advance of the absence. So I'd like that to be added to the policy. And it's policy. Code JEB. And then also there's a policy for juniors and seniors can be called or can leave campus for lunch if the parent signs a release form. And I went to school to get the release form and they didn't. Never heard. So we can get that corrected. That'd be good.
I know I saw an admin with the paperwork printed out, so I'm sure that we're gonna look into it.
Okay. All right, and so how do I follow up?
I'm sure one of the admin will contact you when they. It's definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Emma.
I like to use my own children's name or no?
Our policy is not to
Okay,
name
that's-
children by name, but
Okay.
obviously we know who it is now, so.
My name is Emma Cappers. I have a senior here at the high school and a seventh grader at Roaring Middle. I'm also a special educator in Centennial. I've been teaching for 24 years. I'm here to ask whether the district would please consider moving toward being a phone-free district. The research and the data is pretty clear. Students without access to cell phones perform 13 to 20% better in exams, according to studies conducted by the London School of Economics. This performance gap underscores the pervasive nature of distractions in classrooms with notifications, social media, and games, diverting attention from learning tasks. Adolescents who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media face 2 times the risk of anxiety and depression symptoms, and the average amount of time adolescents spend is 4.8 hours a day on social media. I asked the board to look into the research further and consider this shift and take a stand on what we want for our students in the community. I also asked the board to consider sponsoring and hosting classes for parents about the dangers of social media for children. I partnered a few years ago with the police department in Gresham and put on classes for Centennial. And I would like the district to consider hosting and sponsoring classes like that so that parents can understand the dangers as well as learn how to use the phones properly to protect their children.
Appreciate the input.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to staff, McKinsey.
Good evening. I hope everyone's having a wonderful school year so far. Having worked with our students for about 2.5 months now, we've gotten a chance to know them and learn about their strengths as well as the areas in which we'd like to see them improve. Though we communicate regularly with parents throughout the school year, we also hold conferences to help families gain a deeper understanding of how their students are doing in school. Many teachers will be holding conferences over the next few weeks, both to share academic data and to help foster the relationship between educators and families, since we know how valuable it is to have good relationships with our students and their families. Some schools have opted to hold conferences at a different time in the school year, and we fully support schools being able to decide what works best for their students, their families, and their educators. Sorry. Many of us are also looking forward to our fall break and Thanksgiving coming up. We will all need that time to rest and recharge to gear up for the holiday season, because it's always a very fun but very busy time within the schools. We hope everyone gets to relax and enjoy some time with friends and or family over the break. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. I'm assuming there's no classified staff, there really is. Consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve. What did I skip? Sorry about that. Student rep. When I passed him. Sorry about that.
Hello, my name is Sophie Eaton. I am a senior here at Sandy High School, and I am also the ASB president. I'm very involved with the school as I am captain of the mock trial team and also debate captain for our school speech and debate team. I have worked very hard to keep both of these programs alive, and I'm looking forward to our competition season. I'm also photo editor of the Pioneer Press, which recently has released its second issue. We have a lot of talented writers, and we cover a variety of school and community topics, as well as more serious issues, so be sure to check it out. And in terms of student leadership, we are wrapping up fall sports and getting ready to start our winter sports, which will start next week. Our boys soccer team and our volleyball team made it to the first round of playoffs. We had 3 cross-country athletes qualify for state, which was held last week in Eugene. They're all very talented runners. And our football team won their first round in the playoff game against McMinnville last Friday and are headed to South Medford on Friday to play in the quarterfinals. Our drama department and students have been working hard preparing for the fall play, Peter and the Starcatcher, which will be running between November 15th and 16th to November 21st and 23rd. This will be hosted at 7 p.m. in the Sandy High School auditorium. And last month we held our annual Think Pink fundraiser, and we raised just over $3,000, which will be donated to a local nonprofit organization called Friends. We are also pairing with our local Kiwanis again this year for our annual canned food drive. We have several fun events planned for the canned food drive, including Night with the Pios, which is on Tuesday, December 3rd. Wrestling will have an inter-squad scrimmage, and both boys and girls basketball will be having a scrimmage as well. Entrance is free, but we encourage canned food item donations. We will also have our He-Man volleyball tournament during advisory on December 11th. Our canned food drive runs from December 2nd through December 19th. Multiple elementary and middle schools are participating, and hopefully we have a larger can donation than we did last year. Thank you for the opportunity to share a little update.
Thank you very much, and I apologize again for missing you.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Action items, integrated programs annual report. Rachel.
Good evening. So in your packet on page 24, you have a copy of the annual report questions for the integrated plan. If you remember that bad boy, it was pretty comprehensive. It aligned all the different funding streams for the state of Oregon and aligned all of our initiatives. So the big 2 points were how's our data doing and how's it looking. 2 of the big goals that we had were increasing student performance in reading and math. I did it K-12 because every student matters in our district. We did see increases in both math and language arts. It's interesting when you break it down, we have a larger increase at the elementary. The high school is a little bit more tricky because we don't have as many kids that opt in to state testing, and that's where the funds are really derived from. But overall, even with those scores, we are seeing increases within our student performance in both of those 2 content areas, which I wanted to write the goals and report about our graduation rates, but it's not public yet. So I had to put that back in and speak only about math and language arts. So I'm excited when Kim and other people are able to share that with you guys up next. So the second question though, it asks about barriers, and Staffing is always a really big challenge across the state and also in any occupation when you're looking for it. Really trying to find highly qualified individuals is definitely challenging, especially with different student dynamics that we have and the workload. So we continue to persevere. We're really creative with being able to find folks that we see a lot of potential in, and then mentoring them and helping them through. There's a large handful of folks that we actually help support through their teaching program that we see a lot of potential in and really want to build that pipeline with. So any questions about the integrated plan report? That is an action item and we get to show board minutes to the state of Oregon. So if you feel inclined to approve it, that'd be awesome.
Any questions for Rachel? I'll entertain a motion to approve. Next, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Awesome, thank you.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Hi. I'll see you in 2 more things.
Motion carries. 2025 Senior High School Disneyland Music Tour.
Oh, I'm Rob McLaughlin here, asking you for about the 14th time or so to take some students on the road. Mr. Chase and I have been planning a trip for them in late May. We've got about 80 students signed up, which is the majority of the students that were eligible. We have a couple that had family obligations and some other things, but we're able to take just about everybody. And preparation is underway. Fundraising is already happening. Just ask for your approval. The packet we provided starts on page 25 and goes on a bit. We've added some contract language to address some things that have come up over the years. Feel pretty good about it.
You've got things fairly well straightened out after a few years of trial.
So, maybe 9 or 10 tries at something.
But they're kids, so they'll come up with something new. Always. Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck.
I still want them. You need some ears. Star Wars ears, maybe. One pair. Thank you.
Information discussion, English learners, Oregon annual report. Rachel.
So this is an information item. It's the annual report that we get to present to you all. It's created from the state of Oregon about overall EL outcomes, so English language learners and how they're performing K-12. And at the very bottom, you kind of have a glance at how we support these students across our continuum of K-12. We do a lot of push and support at the elementary. You see within the master's schedule. At secondary, middle, and high, it's a designated class. Internally, though, our goal is to get kids to exit by the time they leave elementary school, which is a pretty ambitious goal. Couple reasons behind that. One, if we can get them out of our ELL program by the time they enter middle school, they have a whole plethora of courses that they're able to actually access that provide high school graduation, CTE, career paths, and then therefore you see more of a higher track on grad rate come 9th grade. So we really want to set those students up for success. It also makes if they're dual identified with like special education needs that they're not then missing out on all of their electives. So really trying to help support the students. In the last couple of years, we've seen a really great growth rate for our elementary students. We're still tinkering and doing a lot of work with our middle school. That kind of is like the donut hole within it where we're like, what's going on there? And secondary, we are seeing some uptick and some increases in student performance. But really secondary and ELL student support is where we're doing a lot of focus work with. So a lot of partnering with the high school and middle school principals, the ELL teacher, and also Kim Bell. We're actually going and doing EL shadows tomorrow to go see what does a day in the life look like for our EL students at the middle school. What does the engagement look like? How are they interacting with the teacher? Because that's also really powerful because we need strong instruction from bell to bell, not just during their EL class. So we're doing a lot of improvements across the board. And each year we just keep getting more laser-like focused, which I'm excited to see those outcomes with. We're actually doing sub-release days this year for our EL teachers so they can even more so understand the standards and what they're expected to teach kids and to be able to move up in the different categories. And you're like, why is that important? It's kind of like MapQuest or I guess Apple Maps, right, on your phone. You need to know where you're going and you need to know those checkpoints and you check it throughout that trip. So that's what we're really working closely with teachers to be able to do and monitor when it comes to English language standards because they are really different. So good things are going on in our district, but even more so. So I can't wait for you guys to see the results coming out of our testing in March this year. It's gonna be pretty awesome. So Thank you.
Any
Do you have
questions,
questions?
Rachel? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Announcements. Before I go into the written announcements, just a reminder that FFA apple and pear sales started. So if you know an FFA student, reach out to them and get your apples and pears for the year. The reason I know that is because my grandson hit me up. Anyway, December 3rd is OTA board meeting and December 9th is a school board meeting. So those are the two announcements. No exec session, so the meeting is adjourned.